Righty, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the show. It is time for the DSP Morning Show here on DSP Gaming for Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2026. Nice, chill vibes today. Relaxing, chill, fun, no stress, all right? We're totally mixing it up after yesterday. Hooey. Yesterday was something else, let me tell you guys. I'm very happy to have it be a fresh day, a fresh start. And, you know, starting off on the right foot, I hope. How y'all doing today? I hope that everyone's doing well. It's actually quite early. It's only 11:19 a.m. Usually I wouldn't start this show till like 11:30. But I'm here. I wanted to get a head start. I wanted to chill and relax and talk. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about today, including a schedule change for Friday as a direct result of some stuff that happened yesterday on stream. And some Nintendo news. 2 different Nintendo-related news stories that I'm excited to share with all of you. Good stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about yesterday and what went down. Not a good day, but I guess you can't win them all. You know what I mean? In life, you're going to have days that aren't so good. And as long as you can find a way to bounce back, right, and have a good day, outside of the fact that you had a bad one, you know, don't let it dwell. Don't let it bring you down long term. That's kind of the attitude that I have. And I want today to be a better day than yesterday, right? So, how y'all doing this morning? First of all, how's everyone? We don't have a lot of people, to be honest. It looks like people are just starting to join, probably because they had no idea I would start as early as I did. And that's totally okay. We're going to chill for about an hour before we jump into Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. A major stream of progress. We have unlocked the 5th and final character in the game. We're actually starting to unlock some great classes and abilities, because now it's not just the standard jobs, but now we're getting these hybrid classes like Gladiator, Sage. What was the other one? There was another one as well that I just unlocked that looked really good. And some of these abilities are becoming really good. Very damaging to the enemies. So, to be honest with you, I do hope that the difficulty will pick up. And the reason I say that is the game is kind of easy. I don't know why it's so easy. It's not like the game had difficulty levels or whatever. It is a turn-based RPG, and I have not... I certainly have not grinded, right? Like, you haven't seen me going around just grinding extra levels or anything like that. I'm just playing it naturally. So, yeah. I'm having a good time with the game. I can't wait for more. And I hope that you guys will stick around for Dragon Quest VII after this stream. It's very chill fun. We can talk and interact while I play a fun classic modern take on the classic RPG is what I should say. Bardikit, thank you. Bardikit has started support today with 100 kicks on Kick. Thank you so much for that. Let's get that up on the leaderboard as our first contribution of the day. Thank you. How is the temperature? Today, the temperature is going to be all over the place because when the sun is out today, because it is sunny, it's going to be warm. But if the sun goes away, it'll be cool. It's kind of that weird in-between season right now. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's kind of like weird because it can be variable during the day. It's not raining today, so it actually will likely go in and out of heat. So that's why I'm wearing shorts and short sleeve stuff today. Layla the Witch asks, do I think GTA 6 will be $100 for the standard edition? I have no clue. But here's the thing. There's no reason for us to talk about it. We have no information. Zero. All we've seen is, a trailer. So until we actually get concrete information about this game, what it contains, content, how long it's going to be, etc., there's no reason to speculate on any of this stuff. Could it be $100? It could if it's the longest game ever. So let's see what happens, right? Okay. I can't speak. Virtual Boy defeats DSP. I'm going to address you directly, and I'm going to address the Kick audience, okay? So, last night, what happened was completely unacceptable behavior. What do I mean by that? I mean, last night, I was trying to play Street Fighter 6, okay? And I was already incredibly frustrated because the game is very difficult to play online, okay? It is. It constantly has issues with dropped inputs and the like. The connections are not consistent. If you haven't noticed, I can't get consistently good matches anymore. Like when I used to play this thing online, I used to get 20, 30 milliseconds all the time. Now I get like 60, 70 on average. So the game lags every time I play it. I'm also trying to play with a brand new character I'm not very good with. I'm trying to learn on the fly. So it's a very stressful situation, okay? Last night, the Kick Chat took that opportunity to basically try to take advantage of the situation. They knew that I could not moderate while I was playing this game. So they decided to completely spam the chat with absolute garbage, okay? Over-the-top nonsense. Complete hate. Not even like razzing and fun. Just complete and utter uncontrollable vitriol. All right? It was incredibly toxic. And I actually have a few people who behind the scenes contacted me and asked me personally why I even keep Kick Chat open after last night. Okay? I'm just being real with all of you. All right? And to be honest with you, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed because we've talked about this. Like, I'm totally okay with having Kick running and having Kick Chat open as an alternative to YouTube chat. Because the way I look at it is this. YouTube side is people who usually have been with me longer. You know, I've only streamed on Kick for a year and a half, right? We're going on 2 years now almost, but about a year and a half, right? So the people who are on YouTube usually have been around for longer. Usually, they're there for a good, productive reason. The YouTube viewers like the games I'm playing or just like me enough that they want to hang out with me. And so that's a good place where we can have engagement. We can talk. People are usually always talking about the game and stuff in the YouTube chat. And I'm kind of used to that. To be honest, the moderation on YouTube is much better than Kick. It just is. On Kick, there's so many ways around things, right, that we've talked about. People, I mean, I banned people a year ago and they could still contribute with pop-ups and shit. It's really silly how Kick has not really fixed moderation at all, and they just kind of remained uncontrollable, right? On the YouTube side, I absolutely am able to make it a safer environment, a more calm and chill environment for the chatter. Hence, the person who likes me and my content will usually gravitate towards the YouTube side rather than the Kick side, okay? But we kind of had this agreement, and we talked about it, that I'm okay with having Kick and having the Kick Chat open. I understand that a lot of you guys are people who came from the Kino Casino side of things. You don't like me, but you're here to razz me and have fun and tease. I don't care about that. All right, I really don't. You can sit there and make fun, but number one, when you get personal and you start saying messed up stuff that has nothing to do with what's going on the stream, that's unacceptable. That's number one. Number two, when you spam the chat so much that literally no one can talk who wants to say something normal or positive, that's also unacceptable. And last night, both of those things were happening. Like, literally, you had people who were saying the most vile, nonsensical stuff, and then were spamming nonstop the chat. So there was no way that anyone could actually get noticed to talk to me on Kick Chat last night. Okay? And it was done on purpose. Like I said, it was done because they knew that I was getting tilted and I was crashing out, playing Street Fighter 6 with Alex. They saw that the game was kicking my ass. And they, hey, now let's really fucking twist the knife in the wound. Let's piss him off even further. You know what I'm saying? And that's not cool. I'm just being, again, I'm trying to be honest with you guys. It's not cool. There's a difference, all right, between we're here to make fun. I get that. I can laugh at myself and my shortcomings and, oh, he's an e-beggar and he sucks at Street Fighter and rages and this and that and all that shit. I can roll with that. I can't roll with it when you try to ruin that side of my stream and business by basically acting like a bunch of wild monkeys, which is exactly what happened last night. Okay? It's that serious. Now, the question is, how do you move forward with that, right? Do I turn off the fucking Kick stream? Do I close the Kick Chat and just stream with no chat? Do I have heavy moderation? Like, what do I do? I don't know. But when people literally told me, we cannot enjoy your stream because of that level of behavior, it's not me saying it, it's viewers. Viewers outright contacted me. People who I know and trust from over the years have contacted me and said, that was messed up, man. Like, that's not right that they're doing that. So, what do you want? You know? Here we go. Two idiot sock accounts. Let's get rid of them. See what I mean? Immediately they start with the spam and the sock nonsense. Like, they're not going to have it. Okay? So, what are we going to do about it? I don't know. I'm certainly not happy. You know, how could I be happy about that level of nonsense and behavior? It's just not right. Again, it was malicious. That's the difference. Okay, I'm someone who maybe I don't like this guy, or maybe sometimes I get enjoyment out of him and I like making fun of him, versus this is malicious. Let's try to ruin his stream for him because we're just fucked up. Okay? That's the difference between the two levels of behavior. All right. So, to be honest, yeah, I don't know. I want to think about how I'm going to approach it. What I'm happy about now is that we have a couple of days where things are going to be more laid back. Like today with Dragon Quest, with RimWorld, tomorrow with Pokemon, you know. Oh, and also Retro Rewind, for that matter. Well, more calm streams. I'll be able to check out the chat more, interact with chat more. If it gets out of hand, I can do something about it, as opposed to trying to relying on a moderator to do it, which you can't always do because, you know, my moderators are volunteers. They're not expected to be there at all times. They're not expected to try to keep the chat in order, especially when it was that uncontrollable. Like, I'm not kidding. 90% of people on Kick Chat were spamming nonsense last night, and it just wasn't able to be controlled, even by a moderator. Like, what were you going to do? Shut down the whole stream? I even saw both moderators that were there were trying their best and couldn't, you know, what are they going to do? So, anyway, let's see what happens. All right? No. Bizarre Pronunciation says, let YouTube be the chill place, let Kick be the fun place. That's what I want. You understand? That's what I want. What you did last night wasn't fun. What you did last night was completely uncalled for, completely unacceptable behavior on anyone's chat. Do you get it? Like, no matter where someone's streaming, who they are, that level of behavior is not acceptable. Period. All right? I want the Kick Chat to be fun. If literally all that was being said in the Kick Chat was like, ha, he sucks at Street Fighter, I don't care. But it was nonsense. Like, I couldn't do shout-outs because people would try to do some kicks and they would fly off the screen because people were spamming 700 moral support messages that were all disgusting things. Okay? It was all personal insults and shit. It was nothing to do with reality. That's not cool. All right? It's not. And it's funny because now, of course, they're trying to now deflect. Oh, well, what happened on YouTube? We'll talk about that. That's not even a problem. I'm serious. It's not. The problem is if I can't have people who want to be positive and have a good time, then there's no point in me streaming. You understand? Because some people seriously to this day still think, because they're so dumb, that the only thing I care about is income. It's not. It's one factor, but I want my streams to be positive, fun, interactive, and a good time. If you can't do that because idiots came and acted like animals and would not behave like humans, then I don't want to stream anymore. You get it? Like, seriously, I don't. I don't want to make content that's completely uncontrollable just for the sake of making money. That's ludicrous. That's totally the opposite of the way that I'm going. Do you see what I'm saying? That's as I'm getting older, all right, and I'm getting more in line with chill values and better stuff. I don't want anything to do with this. Okay, I don't. You idiots may think that this internet behavior is like, oh, it's all the rage and shit. It's not. I've been there. When I was in my 20s, I used to act like this. My early 20s, I used to troll the Street Fighter community. And now I look back at that time, I'm like, damn, I wasted a lot of time. I was young and I could have been doing so many better things with my life for myself. And I squandered that time sitting on the internet trolling people on forums and shit because I was a fucking loser. That's the kind of person that acts like that. Not an intelligent person who has something going for them. If you had something going for you, you wouldn't be trying to ruin someone else's life because yours would be so good you wouldn't want to stop spending time in your own life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Do I regret my rage last night? I regret getting so angry at Street Fighter, because I always do. Like, that's the one game that gets my goat, because I grew up playing Street Fighter. I know what good competitive fighting games are. I've been there. I used to play in them in tournaments and shit. And what current Street Fighter is not that at all. It's so frustrating trying to play these games. That here's really what kills me about Street Fighter 6. The online connectivity is not good. Doesn't matter what the FGC says, it's not, okay? On a moment's notice, the game will start dropping frames of animation, and as it slows down, everything just fucks up, and the game will give random shit that you're not doing or half inputs, okay? I couldn't tell you how many times last night I tried to do level 1 super, and it gave me uppercut plus kick, so it dropped half the inputs. It only did 1 input rather than 2. So it looks like I'm doing one thing I'm definitely not doing. That's on the game, not on me, okay? And the problem with this is, in Street Fighter 6, if you miss 1 input, meaning you do 1 wrong move and you're wide open, literally the game is designed with a crazy comeback mechanic that if you can punish one thing, you can do upwards of 60+% damage in 1 combo. And then the opponent is stuck in the corner, and this mini game begins where the opponent has to guess their way out, and it's chance if they do. So not only did the 1 mistake result in me now being at a massive detriment for the rest of this round, now I'm also stuck in the corner and have to do a mini game to even resume playing a fighting game. That's terrible. All right, that's the opposite of what you want in a good competitive fighting game based on an entire lifetime of experience playing them since I was, 12 when I first played Street Fighter 2 or something like that. I can tell you wholeheartedly, Street Fighter 6's mechanics suck. The people who made it don't understand what makes fighting games good. They just wanted to sell copies and make flashy comeback mechanics so people would buy the game. It's sad. All right? Now, I still play it anyway. Why? Because I love fighting games. Okay? And I want to play fighting games, but the only way that I can actually do so is to play what's out there. I can't play the games that I want because they're not playable. Can I play Fightcade? No. Can't play Fightcade because people will get my IP address and troll me. Okay? Can I play the classic collections? Sure, and no one plays them. Lag City, right? So, the only way I can play fighting games is to play the modern slop, which is really what Street Fighter 6 has become. It's just slop. So it pisses me off. No other game pisses me off like Street Fighter. Why? Because it's disappointing. That's why. Because ultimately, I know that fighting games could have gone in a different and better direction if the people weren't greedy who make them. But because the people are greedy, they've ruined an entire genre of games. And that disappoints me. You know what I mean? Like, it does. It makes me sad to say, wow, I guess we're never going to have good fighting games again if it keeps going in this direction. Never. So, the thing is, when I play fighting games, we get views. We sometimes get support. It depends, right? But we'll get some support. We'll get people excited. Particularly if it's a night when I'm doing well, then you're going to get that level of excitement. You know what I'm saying? Last night was the opposite. It was stressful. The game was not performing well. If you saw, just take a look at the connections that I was getting. And like I said, on average, it would say 4 bars, and I'd play, it would be 70 milliseconds. That's not 4 or 5 bars. That's just not even close. 70 milliseconds is laggy as shit for a fighting game, and it will drop tons of inputs and have problems, and it kept giving me those matches, right? So, do I regret getting angry? What I regret is that it becomes a cascade that just gets worse. Meaning, once you get 1 or 2 bad matches and you lose a match because it literally did not what you input twice or 3 times and now you just can't come back from it, it just becomes a never-ending, tidal wave, right? You know what I'm saying? It just gets bigger and bigger. The rage builds and everything. And now it's like, well, I'm not going to play well now. Obviously, now I'm just going to keep playing worse. But what am I going to do? Cancel the stream? Obviously not. Got hundreds of people on said stream. I got to keep going. I got to keep playing. But it's not enjoyable anymore. You know, there was a couple matches last night that were great. There were a few that I actually really enjoyed because it played well. But that does not make up for the fact that half the time the game is not good. It's dog shit online, you know? And that's the future of fighting games because you have an entire community in the FGC who want to gaslight. They want to gaslight everyone into thinking that that is good gameplay, that is acceptable, that the connections are good, the gameplay engine is good. They're gaslighting everyone because they're so afraid that if people were honest, about the game and about the online connectivity and how bad it is, that then no one would play Street Fighter 6. And then, oh no, now Street Fighter's dead. Now what do? Our hobby is dead, right? Or even our community, our competitive community is dead. Well, things don't get better if you sugarcoat and you gaslight. Things only get better when you're honest and you demand better. Hence why with Street Fighter V, the game was out for 7+ years, and more than half of that, the game was terrible. It took for the last couple of years for it to finally improve to the point where it was like a good game. That's sad that you wasted 5 years of your community time because you wanted to kiss butt. And Street Fighter 6 is not going to get better. It's not. Not with the way that that community acts. It's just going to continue to be bad. Okay? So, it is what it is. So, do I regret that? The rage? What I regret is that it didn't result in an enjoyable time for viewership who wanted to see me play the game well. Because I couldn't play the game well. When you get that angry, you just can't. You're going to make tons of mistakes. You're going to play incredibly poorly. You're going to drop combos. You're going to drop moves. You're not going to be able to react. And then even when you do, the game still won't give you the input anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know? It just compounds the fact. It's compounded by the fact that the behavior of the people who were in Kick Chat, who were absolutely unacceptably acting like jerks. Okay? Just they knew what they were doing. They saw that I was tilted. They saw that I was crashing out. And they took the knife and they just twisted it in the wound like this, all right, to try to damage. And they did. You know, I couldn't have positivity at all from the Kick side of stuff. It was sad. Excuse me. So anyway, and on the YouTube side of stuff, of course, but what they did is they abused YouTube's algorithm because it's not what I thought. Remember I told you guys I thought that they flagged it for bad language? They didn't. They flagged it for nudity. I'm serious. Trolls mass flagged the stream on the YouTube side saying sexual content. And YouTube's algorithm is so dumb. Its AI is so dumb. It flagged the stream for sexual content because of Zengi. I can't make this up. I wish I was making this up. YouTube runs on AI like everything else now. Okay, it does. And it actually flagged the stream for nudity for when I was fighting a Zengi. Now, could I have gotten that reversed? Sure. I could have just restarted the stream and it would have been monetizable again. Or I could have appealed that decision and some human would have looked at it and would have removed it. This can happen. Okay? But no, it wasn't nudity for the women. I swear to God, it was the Zengi. The one Zengi if I fought because he was in the classic outfit. And he basically just wearing underwear. They flagged the stream for nudity, and the AI is so dumb it thought that Zangief was naked, and it demonetized the stream. I wish I could make this up. I'm not making it up, okay? So, anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, last night sucked, okay? Overall, yesterday sucked. Here's why. I love Slay the Spire 2. I think it's a completely unique game, and I've never played a game like that before. I've played it for around 15, 16 hours now, and I love it. I love every minute I play it. I cannot get an audience for it. All right? I've tried everything. I tried to champion it. I tried to tell people how good it was. I talked about it in other videos and other streams. I said, hey, it's good. It's good. I can't get people to come by. We couldn't even hold 200 viewers on YouTube. Okay? We cannot get people to engage with it. Like, there's like 4 or 5 people who talk when I play it. And if they talk about the game, people are like, oh, well, you're holding Phil's hand. Well, what are they supposed to fucking do? Sit here and talk about, you know, golf? You want them to talk about, I don't know, you know, what's going on in Greece or something? Like, it's a game stream. They're going to talk about the game. They're going to try to help me with the game. Like, that's the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people sit here and complain that they're helping me with the game. Well, that was the whole point of the stream. Okay? So, I've tried multiple streams. I cannot consistently get people to show up for Slay the Spire 2, and it sucks because I love it. I want to play it more right now. I'm craving it. I love the game, and I can't get people to show up, so it's done. Like, I just can't play it anymore. What I would like to do is when the game updates and has more content, which it will, it's going to apparently have 7 more characters over the course of early access. I'd like to go back to it from time to time. Okay? And what I'd like to do is check out the new content, right? But there's not much I can do. I have to have people consistently showing up and supporting it, and they're not. Okay? So that already upset me. already I was like, excuse me. Already I was like, man, that's very upsetting. It's a game I really like. And this is the textbook example. Okay. This is a textbook example. All right. 100% of a situation where people say things like, you should just play whatever you want. And I can't. I really wish that I could. I wish that I could just play whatever I want at all times. And I can't. It's not possible for me to just play whatever I want. I have to play what people will show up and engage and support. You understand? So it's life. When you're not just doing this for a hobby, but you're doing this as a job. All right. That's life. Fair enough? Okay. So that's one thing that really upset me yesterday. And then on top of that, playing Street Fighter 6, knowing this is like the make or break stream to try to get Alex to master. And you might say, well, why is it a make or break stream? Because now what's happened is Alex has been out for a week in Street Fighter 6. Everyone knows the character in and out because that community literally just fucking sits there tryharding all day. Why? I have no idea. They certainly don't treat it like a hobby. They treat it like it's a full-time job, even though the vast majority of them will never play at a tournament level. They'll never go and win tournaments, be signed by a team, or make $1 playing it. But they all think they will. There's this weird try-hard mentality online now that it's not about fun. It's about immediately absorbing all tech at a moment's notice and regurgitating it, copy-pasting it onto the internet. Well, that's not fun. Because one of the most fun things about fighting games, in my opinion, is that I call it the era of discovery. When a new fighting game comes out, when a DLC releases or a new character is out, a patch is out, what happens is we get a situation where you have to explore. You have to experiment. You have to try new things. Whenever a new fighting game came out in arcades, that was cool. For like 2-3 months, you knew every time you played that game was going to be a refreshing, interesting experience. Because now it's all new characters, the balance, the new combo systems, the new mechanics. It's going to be a while before people figure it all out. Today with modern fighting games, because everything is online and everyone is so desperate to be the first person to expose the tech, to make the video that gets viral views, to get the stream that blows up, to be the first to use something in tournament, within a couple days, everything's already known. The era of discovery is like a couple hours. And the next thing you know, everyone knows everything and everyone just copy pastes. Why? Because it's too easy to execute. Like every combo in this game is simple. It's so easy to do. It didn't used to be like that. It used to be hours and hours of practice and muscle memory and things to execute the good stuff. Now it's like, okay, everyone, here's what you do. Jumping attack, low attack, drive rush, low attack, special move, cancel into super, 60% damage. But anyone could do that combo, yeah. 60% damage. And now the round's over because they're stuck in the corner. Wow, that's fun. And again, it used to take a while to figure out that tech. Now it's like it's known right away. So the only way I was going to get Alex to master was to do it at an accelerated rate. I tried to do it day one. It didn't work out. I actually made some big headway when I played him for like 90 minutes on Thursday's stream after Crimson Desert. And I was like, this is it. This is the big stream to do it. And then the game doesn't agree. It just will not give me good connections, right? It's just sad. Come on, man. One missed input and the whole round is over every time. It's like, dude, you get tired of it. You don't want to play it anymore. So on top of me not being able to play Slay the Spire anymore because it's not working, I can't get an audience for it. Now the one chance to get this dude to master that I had is gone. All right? And you might say, well, can't you get him to master? Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to keep grinding with this character. I have other characters that I like more that I want to go back to. I want to play with Honda and see the new combo ability with his hands and see if he's much better. I want to try Lily and the new spacing with her Condor Spire, double dives, and her standing fierce apparently is good now, which it is shorter range, but it claps. It's like a boom, like a big counter hit, and it can lead to big combos and moves. It's just so much better than it used to be. So these are things I want to practice. I want to mess with. I don't want to keep messing around with Alex. Alex is all right. I don't dislike the character, but the problem is everyone's playing him now. So now everyone's got his number. Everyone knows this character in and out within a week. It's like last night playing was so different than day one. Day one, no one knew what was going on. Now it's a week. Oh, everyone knows everything about this character. Can't even use a move. It's stuffed every time. Like, oh my God, seriously. So, yeah, frustrating day yesterday. But that's what I mean. Like, I want to bounce back. Okay, I do. I want to bounce back. And I want to have a good chill day today. And already we're on track. If you haven't noticed, people are actually behaving today, which is good. I want to say thank you to everyone who's on both sides of the stream here, who are actually being nice and rational and calm and acting normal. I appreciate that. Because, yeah, last night really tilted me, really pissed me off. And I appreciate that very, very much. Okay? Thank you for not being jerks this morning as I talk this out and we calmly discuss it instead of me crashing out again. Okay? Okay. No, see, I've already said that a million times. I don't play Street Fighter 6 enough anymore to be good at it. How was I really good at Street Fighter 6 when it first came out? Because I played it all the time. It was a hot new release, and everyone wanted to see this game tons a week, right? I was playing it 3, 4, 5 streams a week. So I was messing with different characters. I had the tech down. Now I barely play it. 2 hours a week sometimes, 4 hours at most, is not enough to hang in a competitive game in any realm. It doesn't matter if it's an FPS, if it's an MMO, strategy-style game like League of Legends, whatever you're playing, fighting game, it doesn't matter. 2 to 4 hours a week is not enough, okay? I would have to be playing this game a lot more, and I can't. I'm playing variety, right? I'm doing a variety of stuff, and when I balance that stuff, I don't have enough time to invest in Street Fighter. If I played Street Fighter more right now, it wouldn't do so well. Just being honest, okay? So anyway, yeah, that's part of the factor here. Sure, if I try-harded Alex all week, he would have been master second day I played him. Seriously, I would have had him master Wednesday last week, for sure, 100%. But I would have had to play him nonstop for like 2 days, and I would have done it. That's not me. I'm a variety creator now. Not everyone cares about fighting games all the time. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's do some shout-outs. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about the schedule change for Friday. Let's talk about this Nintendo news, all right? So let's get started here. It looks like we got some tips. We got other stuff. All right, so we got Lance Catamaran. Gifted a sub on Kick. Thank you to Lance. That's our first sub of the day. Oops. There we go. JC3DX did a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Let's get you on the leaderboard for a generous contribution. And he says, I don't know how you manage to pull out positive content every week with these vicious people trolling you. I appreciate it. Are we going to get the legendary return of Dick Lightning in Dark Souls 2 anytime soon? If I was going to play a Dark Souls coming up, it would be Dark Souls 2. That's the one that I haven't played in the longest now. So I don't know. Definitely would be PC version. We'd definitely do some mods, like at least visually make it look better. Like I said, I personally would maybe like to do a run that changes the game, that makes it feel like a brand new game. And I've heard that both Dark Souls 2 and 3 have extensive mods that you can actually add to the game to completely change it from the ground up and make it feel like a new experience. That would be really cool. Like, that's what I think I would like to do. Unless you guys disagree and just want to see me do Dark Souls 2 again. I've already done the regular and Scholar of the First Sin version, so, you know, then again, it certainly hasn't been very long, or it has been very long since I played it. Like, I can't remember the last time I played Dark Souls 2. I will actually wonder. So my Scholar of the First Sin playthrough was 2017. My entire setup was completely different. Wow. I've only done 2 runs. Apparently, I swear I've played it more than twice, but I guess not. So my original run was when it was a new release 12 years ago, and my second run was 7 years ago. No, 9 years ago, because it was 2017. So I haven't played Dark Souls 2 in 9 years. Holy shit. Damn, it doesn't feel that long, but I guess it has been. So yeah, if I were to play Dark Souls again, it would be Dark Souls 2, I think. Now, I don't know if I would just play it again normally, or if we would No, now I'm starting to remember. No, wait. Because the second run, when I played Scholar of the First Sin, that's right, I did dual wield. Yeah. That's right. That's right, that's right. There we go. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so yeah, but now am I doing it anytime soon? I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. And to be honest, the schedule for the next couple of months is kind of weird. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot going on in the realm of high-profile new releases. If you take a look, we've got, well, the new Life is Strange game, which no one seems to be interested in seeing me play. There's this game, Screamer, that's a driving game. I don't know if you guys want to see me play it or not. I would consider it. It comes out tomorrow. So I guess we'll wait and see the reviews and everything. And if it ends up being good, maybe we'll play it next week. I don't know. Then really there's nothing going on until like middle of April. You got Mouse PI for Hire and Pragmata. And then the Invincible fighting game comes out at the very end of April along with Saros. May has Directive 8020, 007 First Light, and Lego Batman. That's a few good releases. And I'm sure there's going to be more. But as you're listening to that, I'm sure you're like, well, there's nothing really big there. No, you're right. Like, there's nothing huge going on. So maybe there would be room in there for like a Dark Souls 2 run. I don't know. We'll see. I would absolutely consider it. Okay? Princess Luna, thank you for a $10 super chat. Kind of wild how chat tries to escalate instead of chill. You kept more composure than most would, and I hope you have a better day today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, the chat seems to be completely under control today. Maybe people are actually listening to reason and trying to be nicer, because last night was insane, and actually people seem to be pretty good right now. Guys, do you understand the difference? I'm not talking about the YouTube side, because there are some trolls on the YouTube side, but on the Kick side, you guys see the difference here? Like, I don't mind you guys just sitting there talking, chilling. Even if you're making fun, it's fine. Just don't ruin the chat for people who want to be positive people. Okay? Let them talk. Give them some fucking space to breathe. Okay. Let's see here. Cammy Master did a $2 super chat and says, I played you last night and I won, no lag on my side. It's false because I didn't fight any Master players last night. So obviously you're full of shit. But thanks for $2. I actually did beat some Cammies last night. 2 or 3 of them, actually, which was shocking. I think what it is that finally I'm getting a hold of a little bit of the matchup, and I'm stopping Cammy from being able to be in my face constantly. As long as I keep her away, she can't do the stupid pattern bullshit. And I actually did pretty good against a couple Cammies, so. Okay. Shadow My Sonic, thank you for $5. Will you be playing the new Life is Strange game in the future? I think I just answered that. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but let's be honest. Life is Strange has changed dramatically from what it started as, right? Life is Strange originally was supposed to be almost like a sci-fi thriller starring teenagers, but the whole point was that it had like this murder mystery, horror aspect, supernatural powers. And what's happened is with Life is Strange over the years, they've changed the tone, right? Now Life is Strange has become this almost like very progressive, trying to push certain kinds of not agendas, but dialogues, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm not opposed to that, except you have to understand that going into it. And my audience is kind of just like, oh God, you know, like I liked Life is Strange True Colors. I actually enjoyed that game a lot. But then the last one that we played, which was called Life is Strange, what was it called? Still Life? No, what was it called? Something to do with photos. I can't remember what it was called. It started off good, and then it just got laughably bad. And it was fun playing through it till the end, but the end is like, oh, it's going to be like X-Men now. But is it? Because now they're making another one, and it's like, oh, this is just the story of Max and Chloe. Well, then it's not. It's definitely not the plot from the last one, which is more interesting. You know what I mean? So I don't know if people are going to care about it. I know it comes out tomorrow, but people are probably going to be like, eh. I'm more interested in this Screamer game, this driving game, to see if it's any good. And I want to see people play it and, you know, get a feel for it. And if it ends up being fun, then maybe we'll check it out next week. I'm not opposed to that. I usually don't play driving games, you know. Anyway. So, you know, it's probably a no for now unless people really want me to. Okay? And then Shadow My Sonic did another $5 super chat. I never played a turn-based RPG. Which game would you recommend as a first-time player? Oh, man. There's so many turn-based RPGs. That might be a better question for the chat. because I sadly just don't get to play them as often as I'd like because they don't really work that well on stream. They just don't. Most of the time when I play turn-based RPGs, it's really hard to retain an audience. I know I've missed out. Like, for example, isn't Octopath Traveler 1, 2, and don't they have another one now? Aren't those really good turn-based RPGs that have done well in the last several years? Of course, everyone's going to say Clair Obscure Expedition 33 because that's the one that everyone said was Game of the Year last year. I'll tell you this, stay away from Final Fantasy from anything that came out in like the last 10 years. I'm serious. Like Final Fantasy kind of went off the deep end and isn't even turn-based anymore. And they were like one of the major turn-based RPGs from back in the day. And they just pushed their entire franchise to now be like active combat-based. And it's way worse now. Both 15 and 16 are not great games because the active combat system is nowhere near as good as when it used to be turn-based. So I'll just say that. And of course, the 7 remake trilogy as well. It's active combat. It's like, oh, what happened here? They excelled at one thing, and at some point they decided that's not what people want anymore. It's not profitable enough. So they changed the franchise to be something completely different. And now, guess what? Guess what just won Game of the Year and sold like gangbusters? Expedition 33, which is turn-based, which is what Final Fantasy had and threw away. I'll agree there. Dragon Quest 11 is a great, great game. Dragon Quest 11 is exceptionally good. I really like that game. Okay. Someone tipped $1. Oh, it's Beaver Bother. Tipped $1.50 says, when are you getting the leverless fight stick? Oh, I'm definitely not. I most definitely am not. There's no way that this audience is going to put up with me learning leverless. I just know it, you know? And it would be a lot of grinding. It would be a lot of practice in training mode rather than even playing humans. It would be me training to get the motions down and everything. It's never going to work. It's just never going to work. It's not content for streaming. You know what I mean? And I don't have the time off stream to learn it. So I can't. I'm not getting any leverless. There's no point. Okay. What's going on? Let's see. King Michael, how are you? Good to see you, man. Game Boy, how are you? All right, let's talk about the schedule, and let's do some of this Nintendo news before we open it up to Q&A, okay? So, in light of everything that's going on recently, me trying out Crimson Desert last Thursday, played it all day, hated the combat, dropped the game. This prompted a huge group of people on the internet to have the same opinion. I'm not saying that I'm the one that caused it. I'm saying that I was in like mind with many people. Many people said, man, this game needs to be fixed or patched. The combat is just not good. So the makers of Crimson Desert have responded directly and said, we acknowledge the complaint and we're going to try to fix it. And they dropped patches over the course of the week that changed the experience. From what people are saying, okay, apparently, hold on. Excuse me. From what people are saying, apparently Crimson Desert has gotten a major patch yesterday that has changed the combat of the game. That the combat feels more responsive. That the combat now has been eased up a bit for the boss fights. That the boss fights are not as grueling to win anymore. That's a good thing. Because that makes the game more accessible and more appealing to the common gamer who doesn't want to basically redesign the fucking wheel to play a video game. Which is basically how they made it originally, you know? Like, gee, we made a game that's not really for gamers, and we wonder why gamers are complaining about it. Again, there were entire content creators making video essays on how to play Crimson Desert. That's bad. You understand? If you can't just boot the game up and play it and like it, if you need to study like an encyclopedia to learn how to play the game, that's fucking terrible. That means you failed as a game developer. You didn't make the game fun or accessible for the common gamer, and that's why people were so pissed, okay? So they apparently now have updated it, all right? And already people are asking me, Do you want, really check it out? Do you want to check it out again? So what we'll do on Friday for the daytime stream, we will return to Crimson Desert. We will mess around with it further. All right, we'll do a one-off stream to test it and see if is it better. Is it worth our time to try to go back and do a full playthrough or not? Okay? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen here. First of all, I didn't say it failed. You love these idiots. He says, if it failed, how did it sell 3 million copies? Did I say it failed? No, I said people criticized it and says that the combat is bad. I didn't say it failed. You're an idiot. And by the way, it sold 2 million on launch day. Launch day. Those are pre-orders. You understand? 1 million other people then bought it, so that's good. But it didn't sell 3 million copies in 2 days after the fact. It sold 2 million copies on day 1. So you're a moron. Okay. So, on Friday, I'll be doing a second stream of Crimson Desert. What I plan to do is further explore the game, right? Let's keep doing missions. Let's explore. Let's see what we can find. And, yes, eventually, by the end of the stream, I want to return back to that boss and see if I can figure out how to beat them. At this point, I've now been told, like, 5 ways to beat this guy. One person's like, you got to level up the palm strike to level 3, and you could stun lock, and he's stupid. He just died. He's, like, super easy to beat. Another person's like, well, you can use the sword to reflect the light off the sword, and it stuns him when he goes to go underground, and it makes the fight super trivial. It's like, that's great. When did the game explain any of that? Like, when did the game actually say any of that? Or am I just supposed to fuck around endlessly and to figure out the one way to beat the puzzle? Because that's what it is. It's not a fight. It's a puzzle, right? That's the problem. Now, they've also said they made the fights easier. Maybe you can just beat them normally with combat. I don't know. So, and by the way, apparently from what people are saying, the game controls way better now. Like, it used to feel like you were sluggish, like everything was almost like underwater, and people are saying the game actually responds better now to your inputs. Combat is more fluid. The dodging is more active. Okay. So I'll give it a second shot. I own the game. There's no reason for me to not try it again. All right. But I hope that all of you who've been bothering me over the last week to play it again will be there. Not that I go to play it and no one's there and it's a dead stream. You know, I want people to be there again for Crimson Desert since I'm giving it a second shot per your requests. Okay. So let's see what happens. Trying to position my chair right. Let's see what happens on Friday when I play Crimson Desert a second time. I'm calling it the second look stream. All right, where now they've patched it and maybe the game's better. We'll see. All right, let's find out on Friday. Okay. Now, does that mean that I'm playing it again? No, we're not committing to anything. I just want to try it. If I play it again and I have a good time on the stream, then yeah, I'd probably play it more next week. If I play it and it sucks, then I'm not going to play it again. If I play it again and it's just kind of mediocre, then I probably still won't play it again. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see if a game like this is worth my time. And if it really is so super lengthy, do I want to commit that level of time? I don't know. So I guess we'll see, right? And for the record, I'm going to go into it cold. I'm not going to go study videos on how to beat certain bosses so I can cheese the game and shit. I'm going to try to play it as if I'm a gamer playing a game for the first time and trying to enjoy it and experience it for myself. Not, oh, I went and a creator told me how to play the game and to change my mindset and play it like this, so now I have to adjust everything I do, completely reprogram my brain for what a video game should be. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm going to play the game like a video game, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. We'll see. Okay? Cool. So I hope you'll be here on Friday for that. That's the daytime stream. Friday night, I'm doing Street Fighter 6 Friday Night Fights, but I'm picking characters that I'm used to. It's either going to be Honda or Lily or Dalzim. I don't know. But I'm going to be playing characters that I kind of understand. I want to see... Like, Honda apparently has had the most improvement. Honda now, supposedly, has multiple combo pass into hands, even after jabs. And that's crazy because you used to have that. After jabs, you could just do headbutt and that was it. Ends the combo. Doesn't really push to the corner. Didn't really help that much. Now, if I can catch with jabs, apparently I can go right into a big hands combo. That will change. That will make Honda significantly better. So, let's see how it goes. Friday night. Let's see how it goes Friday day. I think Friday will be a very good streaming day, just on curiosity's sake. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. What is this? I never signed up for that. Why am I subscribed to that garbage? Get that out of there. Okay. So someone has tipped me $3, and they asked the following question. From an anonymous tipper, I've been thinking of doing a dopamine detox for myself, and it led me to think, when was the last time that Phil actually went more than 2 days without playing a video game or a mobile game? Do you ever feel the urge to go offline for a while? Oh, yeah, I would say sometimes you can get burned out, right? You can, especially when, like I said, my entire job is to sit here and entertain an audience, mostly with video games. Now, obviously, there's sometimes it's not. For example, right now, I'm not playing video games. I'm just hanging out with you guys and talking, right? And a lot of people like that content. They like the chill content, the interactivity. I do too. I really enjoy just hanging out with an audience and having conversational tone. But sometimes, you do feel more burnt out, correct? But the good news is, because I'm a variety streamer and I play a variety of games, I don't usually get burnt out on anything particularly, right? If I were playing Street Fighter nonstop for the last week to master Alex like these tryhards do in the FGC, I would hate fighting games. I'm serious. Like, I would be so burnt out right now and be like, I just don't want to play them. I would be like, I'm not doing Friday Night Fights. Fuck it. I quit, But because I do variety, it allows me to not get burnt out, all right? What was the last time I didn't play video games for an extended period of time? Last summer when I had my week off. My personal week. Remember that? When I was out of nowhere, unexpectedly, I didn't stream for a week? Yeah. That was the longest that I've been away from video games in a very long time. And you can answer the question, just look at my streams, right? I'm streaming 6 days a week, most weeks, some weeks 5. Very rarely do I take more than 1 or 2 days off, So that was the most extended period of time. How long was that? 5-6 days? I don't remember. But that was the longest time. In a long time. Ever since I became a YouTuber. Right? Ever since I became a YouTuber way back in the day. That's been it. And that was what? 18 years ago? I mean, even before I was doing this for a living, making money doing it, I was doing it grinding away as a hobby. I would work a 9-to-5 job, come home, and then play games for 2-3 hours and upload the footage. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to think it's been almost 20 straight years where I play games almost nonstop without, interruption or a break. But do I get burnt out? Luckily, no. If I would get burnt out if I just played the same kind of game over and over, but there is enough variety in gaming and the way that I cover it. There's enough variety that I don't get tired. And that's a good thing, Rose Diamonds asked, seems like near the end of Resident Evil 9, you were feeling a little burnt out, but that consecutive playthrough was overall good for the channel, so do you think you'd ever do it again? To be honest, that was the best way to cover it, because I didn't want to have that playthrough lingering 2-3 weeks, because I knew the game was shorter. If that game was 40 hours long, I never would have done it. I would have played it for 2 days, and then I would have stopped and alternated, but knowing that the game was under 20 hours, and I knew that I could basically beat it in a week if I played the crap out of it, that's why I did that. You're absolutely right. By the end of the playthrough, I'm getting burned out because I'm playing the same kind of game every day. I'm getting tired of the same formula. I want variety. And I wasn't, basically, in a situation where I was having fun with it anymore because it was too much of the same. So, no, I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big... I think that moving forward, if there's a shorter game, could I play it nonstop, get it done relatively quickly? Sure. But it has to be a game that would also have that demand. Resident Evil 9 is a kind of an exception where it's a high-priority AAA game that people trusted to be good because it's Capcom, and Capcom hasn't screwed up Resident Evil in many years. People were hyped for it in a short... if I didn't play it the accelerated way I did, it wouldn't have done as good. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have. It would have had way less views. It would have been like, what took you so long? So I'm glad that I played it at the accelerated rate, right? So would I consider doing that in the future? In rare cases for big priority game or high profile games, GTA 6, dude, when that game comes out, I'm playing the crap out of it. You know what I mean? Like when GTA 6 comes out, I'll be playing it entire days, not nonstop, but, I probably will do a whole day of GTA 6, right? And then alternate it with other things, but maybe, giant chunks. That's what everyone's going to want to see. People are going to want content of that nonstop, right? So, but we'll see moving forward what games warrant it, what games don't. I just don't think many games warrant it. And I do think that if I play something too much, people get burnt out on it and don't care. Like, take a look at the final streams. The final 2 streams of Resident Evil didn't do well. They didn't. The last 2 streams that I did of Resident Evil 9 had low attendance, low engagement, and low support. People were tired. They were like, dude, you played too much of this game. Like, what do you want me to do? The fucking game, I played as much as I could, Soul at 2 a.m. Thanks for a $5 super chat. How long was it between your last full regular stream in Connecticut and your first full regular stream in Washington? I don't remember, but again, that's something you can easily figure out by searching this channel. If you remember what happened. So, I did my final big finale stream, which was like a big marathon with friends and everything over in Connecticut. It was the last hurrah, And then, basically, I didn't stream for about a week. And if you remember what happens, I moved. It took like, I'm trying to think here. Well, we had one day where we packed everything up. The movers came, packed everything up, got it loaded into the moving truck. That was like a whole day. And then there was the actual travel day across the country when I arrived. And then there was a day of like initial shopping for furniture, setup, that kind of stuff. Like I totally remember the first stream that I attempted didn't work. Do you remember? I tried to stream on my laptop because my computer wasn't here yet. And the stream on the laptop was a disaster. The laptop couldn't handle it. It was just choppy as shit. It was really bad quality. So I had to wait for the PC and everything to arrive and then set up the desk with the PC on it and all of that. And I also remember that when I started doing it, I was like, dude, I need a new PC. Like, immediately I noticed that the PC was, like, slowing down, having issues. I was like, I just need a new PC. And that's when I bought that new PC. So, I couldn't answer that because I would have to just search. I'd have to look up the actual stuff. I don't even remember if the moving vlogs are on, like, my reacting/vlogging channel or if they're on DSP Gaming. I don't remember. I'm sure you could look it up. I look at the history of videos there. But it wasn't, at most, it was probably a week, I had to wait for the stuff to arrive. The movers had to move it across the country, unpack, hook it up, and then I was streaming again. So, okay. Folks, we have 2 news stories that I would like to cover today, okay, in regards to Nintendo. Let's talk about them right now before I forget. Okay, ready? So, here it is. Shy Cat Jasper finally meows live on stream. No, that's not the story. I didn't have the right tab open. You ready? So, this news story hit about 2 days ago. I forgot to talk about it yesterday. Or actually, I really didn't have time. Nintendo has cut Switch 2 output by over 30% based on weak United States sales. Now, this is just based on the United States. People are actually wondering if this also applies to worldwide or not. But here's the story. Okay? Nintendo is cutting back the production of the Switch 2. The demand has essentially not reached the levels that they expected through the holiday season. Okay? They originally were going to make 6 million units, but they've now cut that down to 4 million. Okay? And they said it's going to continue through April, and they're going to see what happens. After they made a record-setting debut in June, the sales of the Switch 2 failed to meet Nintendo management's high expectations. Demand for a lower price but unprofitable variant in Japan has remained strong, and sales in the US haven't met with similar continued success. Okay? Their shares fell on the announcement by 6.3%. Okay? So, here's the thing, and if you read it, the hardware shortfall in its first year during its big holiday season is awful news, said a Japan equity strategist. Clearly, the software lineup has been poor, at least until most recently with Pokemon showing some hope. So wait, let me get this straight. Are you telling me that there's no good games on Switch 2? No shit. Normal people know this. But fanboys keep kissing the ass of Nintendo. They keep kissing the ring, right? And say, oh, masterpieces like Mario Kart Tour, World Tour, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, and blah, blah, blah. They're not good games. They're nowhere near as good as the kind of stuff that Nintendo would normally put out. But people just keep drinking the Kool-Aid and want to act like they're good. They're not. The games are not selling nearly well enough for what Nintendo expected. And the console isn't really selling that well anymore. It's fully stocked everywhere. You could buy it anywhere you go, has Switch 2, and all its accessories and all of its games, and nothing's selling. Okay? Now, it's not doom and gloom. It's just, think of it this way. Right now, if you have a Switch 1, do you need a Switch 2? When you really think about how to answer that question, you have to understand a lot of the games that have come out as Switch 2 games are also still on Switch 1. So unless you absolutely need the top-of-the-line performance of the game, why do you need to spend $450 on a console that, for the most part, is just a Switch 1 expansion? Do you understand? It really feels like Switch 1 Pro instead of Switch 2, because they really didn't add anything new to Switch 2. There is no innovation in that console. Despite the fact Nintendo tried to act like there was, there's none. Having a face cam for the console is not an innovation whatsoever. Everyone else already has that on other consoles, and PC already has it. Okay? There is no new technology in that console at all. It really is the Switch Pro. Okay? It is. So, since there's no real new reason to buy the console, and the games aren't that good, why do you need it? And that's the thing. You had people who rushed forward and bought it at release. So, yes, there was a huge record setting. Just like we were talking earlier. Oh, 2 million copies of Crimson Desert. Yeah, on launch day. Based on hype. But will it keep selling? The answer here with the Switch 2 is no, it has not. It had big hype behind it. Everyone bought it at release. Had a few games. What do I do with this now? There's nothing to do with this console. There aren't enough first-party releases for me to even justify the $450 purchase. I basically screwed myself by getting it. You know what I mean? So, there you go. Right here, business reporting. This is what I've been saying, okay? Is that they need good software. Here you go. A setback during the holiday season was the December release of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. The title sold fewer than 1 million copies that month, a sluggish debut for a Nintendo release. Shares of Nintendo have fallen 40% in the 6 months to mid-February as concerns over its titles and Switch 2's long-term success intensify. The one game that's done well is Pokemon Pocopia, which sold 2 million units. So they got one hit on their hands in the last 6 to 8 months since the launch of Switch 2. Now, that's one piece of Nintendo news, okay? Here's some more interesting Nintendo news. You ready for this? This literally was just announced this morning, so you may not even have heard this story yet, so listen up. About Nintendo Switch 2 game pricing. This is directly from Nintendo.com, right from the source. Beginning in May 2026, and starting with pre-orders for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, new Nintendo published digital titles exclusive to Nintendo Switch will have an MSRP that is different from physical versions. Nintendo games offer the same experiences whether in packaged or digital format, and this change simply reflects the different costs associated with producing and distributing each format and offers players more choice in how they can buy and play Nintendo games. As always, retail partners set their own prices for physical and digital games, and pricing for each title may vary. So what does this mean? This means that the digital games that you buy off the Nintendo shop or Nintendo store, whatever it's called, will be a different price point than buying a physical copy from a store or off of the internet and getting it mailed to you physically. To get the disc and the box is going to cost more. But how much more? We got the answer already. You ready? This was just listed. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book releases May 21st, 2026. Physical edition, $69.99. Digital edition, $59.99. So Nintendo will charge you $10 extra to physically hold a copy of a game in your hand. Okay? To be honest, I'm shocked it took this long for any of these game producers to do this, because the cost of mass producing the disc, printing the art, putting out the box, packaging it, wrapping it, the logistics of shipping that physically to stores is costly. And they, up to now, have not been charging any more for the physical edition than they have been for simply downloading the game digitally over the internet, which is pretty much free. Once you have the Nintendo Shop in place, it's going to run itself, essentially, and there's no logistical cost involved. It's just get it all on the internet, right? In fact, to be honest, here's the funny part. If you spend money to buy the physical copy of this game, the company you spent money with is responsible of getting the game to you, right? If they don't get it to you, you could file a dispute, you could try to get your money back, you could complain. On a digital storefront, you could buy, never download the game, never have access to it, but there's really nothing you can do. When you think about it, they have no responsibility whatsoever to make sure you ever get this game or play it. So they might just have people pissing away money buying games and never downloading or playing them. So yeah, I'm shocked it took this long. I thought years and years ago, when everything was pushing digital, that we would have had a pricing discrepancy. All right, now, herein lies the tricky part of this and how this can become a slippery slope. All right, this is the first game that they're doing it, and the digital is $60 and the physical is $70. Now, we've already been told by all of these game companies, new games should be $70. Price of development has increased. The games are lengthier, have more content. The regular price of a game should now be $70. So we're being programmed to think this is normal pricing. Okay? So when I look at this, like, ooh, discount. If I get it digitally and I don't care about the physical copy, I save $10. That's the mentality I'm having right now. Okay? However, this is the first game. Okay? What's to stop Nintendo or any other game distributor, publisher, whatever, from saying, oh, well, the normal price of a game is $69.99. So the digital is $69.99, and if you want the physical, it's $79.99. Hasn't happened yet. Doesn't mean it won't. And especially when other companies are now going to start doing this because Nintendo has begun, this means the floodgates are open. Sony, Microsoft, all third-party companies, they're all going to start doing it now. Okay? Don't expect it to be a discount to get digital. Expect digital to be the full price and physical to be an extra premium on top of the full price. In fact, what I fully expect to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, and this could be wrong, but this is my speculation, the physical copy will now be considered the premium collector's edition, and it will not be $10 more. It'll be $50 more. Because what they're going to do is, oh, you want Yoshi and the Mysterious Book physical? Well, you can get it, but it also comes with postcards, and it comes with an unfoldable color map that's also a two-sided poster, and it comes with, an art book and a digital soundtrack. So now we can charge you $140 for that version. If you want a physical copy, that's the only way to get it. We're not selling a standard physical copy anymore. So you pay $60 for the digital or $140 for collector's edition, and the collector's edition is the only way that you get physical. I feel like that's what's going to happen. They're no longer going to offer this option anymore within 5 to 10 years. They're going to phase it out and say, well, you can still get physical, but you got to pay out the nose to get it. That's my speculation. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they're going. Okay? Stream end? What happened? Oh, it says my stream ended, but I didn't end the stream. That's weird. I have no idea what just happened. It says stream finished, but I didn't end the stream. So hold on. Let me see what's going on, guys. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It says I'm still broadcasting. It says I did not stop. It says I'm still recording. So I legit have no idea what just happened. The problem is you can't resume on YouTube. So what just happened? By the way, where's my phone? I don't even have my phone here. All right. Give me 1 second here. Let me pause the recording. All right, so I'm coming back. I don't know what happened. My YouTube stream shut itself down. I didn't do it. Okay? And it's weird because there's no reason it would have happened. My internet stayed up, so I kept streaming on Kick, no problem. There was no problem, like no moderation happened on YouTube. It's not like YouTube demonetized, nothing. It just shut the stream down for some reason. I wasn't doing anything bad, as you could see. I was just doing a Nintendo story. Right? All right, so let's finish the story, okay? This is going to be a text case to see what happens, because now that Nintendo is doing this dual pricing, I believe the market will also adapt and do the same thing. I believe that digital games will be one price and physical will be more expensive. And I feel this will leave the door open for game publishers to say, well, the standard price is 70, the physical will now be like 80, okay? But I also do feel that eventually, perhaps, they'll stop selling mass numbers of the physical. They'll make it like a premium edition, like collector's edition will be the only way that you can actually get the physical edition. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my speculation, okay? Let's see what happens in the next 5 to 10 years in regards to that. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I feel like that was coming for a very long time. I feel like that was a situation where eventually that was going to happen. Why on earth are they charging the same price for something that's digital and literally has no distribution costs at all versus a game that has to be physically produced on a disc, game loaded onto the disc, printed, put into a box, now packaging for the box, sealing it up, mailing it to stores, etc. You know what I mean? Like, that's an insane amount of added cost, and they weren't accounting for that or trying to get any of that money back. And I don't know why. That's weird. So, okay. I got a few shout outs to do before we do a little bit of Q&A, and then we will get into our gameplay for today. So let's take a look here. I got a $2 tips. Listen to this. Someone says, remember, Baldur's Gate 3 also won Game of the Year a few years ago. That's correct. And that was another turn-based game. Yet Final Fantasy insists that turn-based is dead. That's what the creator of Final Fantasy 16 said in an interview. I don't want to say Square Enix because other studios in Square do turn-based like Octopath and Dragon Quest. It's bizarre, isn't it? Again, Final Fantasy used to be one of the top companies making turn-based games. Top. And then all of a sudden, it's like one day they just decided, throw all that away, get rid of that reputation, let's do something different, and smash our entire previous track record of success. Just forget about all those games that did good that were turn-based. We're going to go to this weird active combat where, again, everything kind of plays almost like Kingdom Hearts, but it's not good. I'm sorry. Final Fantasy 16, as I told you guys, was by far the easiest RPG in history. I won entire boss fights not looking at my TV. I was like talking with you guys in chat, doing this, and I killed a boss. It's just sad. I don't know what's going on with that, honestly. Let's see here. Someone tipped $1. We watched the new Tomodachi Life trailer, and there's a demo for it now. It would be a fun night stream. Maybe. It says the demo's around 2 hours of content. Oh. I did not know that they released a demo. Would you guys be interested in seeing me try out Tomodachi Life's demo next week at some point, maybe? That would be a consideration. Okay. Someone tipped $2, says, I preferred Life is Strange when it was a different protagonist with different unique powers every game. I like seeing gameplay variations. Now it's just Max and Chloe, Max and Chloe. The ones without them just didn't sell well, so it's just pushing Max and Chloe. Yeah, like remember, the original Life is Strange was written to be like a murder mystery sci-fi storyline. And yes, obviously you get to know the characters of Max and Chloe, and they're central to the story. But overall, the story itself was good. Then somehow Life is Strange became, well, it's less about something interesting in the story. It's just about Max and Chloe, drama of Max and Chloe, right? Yeah, like I said, I liked True Colors. I thought True Colors was great, but I guess we'll never see that cast ever again, like they never existed, right? I guess not. Oh, really? Someone just tipped me $1 and said, they seem to be having connection issues all day on YouTube. I was watching another streamer this morning. It also abruptly ended their stream, and then they had to start up again 20 minutes later. Seems like YouTube is having an issue. Luckily for me, I know how to easily just start over. Like, all you do is you remake the stream, and you're already broadcasting. So once you have the stream remade, it already just resumes. So it sucks because it'll show us 2 streams. And I know some people will be confused and think, oh, the stream went offline. But no, we're, still live. I didn't do anything. Well, that's sad. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it doesn't happen again. If it does, guys, if the stream goes down again, just know I'm going to bring it right back up again. Just be patient, and I'll get it back up for you guys. But there's nothing I can do. Just look on the channel, and within a minute, I'll have a second stream up again. Okay? All right. So now this morning show went long because we talked about various topics, and also because that just happened, the technical issues. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about quickly? Like Q&A-wise? Anything you'd like to chat about? Do I believe in any conspiracy theories? Well, the funny thing about conspiracy theories is they're only conspiracies if you don't really have, how can I say? If it's not something that's mainstream believed, and maybe you don't necessarily have full evidence of what you're saying, but like if your experience is that, then is it really a conspiracy? Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. Back in the day, I had beef with the people who ran Shoryuken.com and Evo. Okay, I did, 100%. And the weird part about it was, whenever I went to Evo, without fail, I would always end up in an insane killer bracket where matches would happen that would make it the hardest possible path for me to ever do anything. For example, the Evo that I placed best at, where I got 4th place in Super Turbo, I was placed into the black bracket of death. Okay? That bracket contained Bob Painter, Mike Watson, Jason Wilson. Who else? There was like 7 top Super Turbo players that were all in that bracket. And I beat them all in a row, like back to back to back to get to the finals. But why was I placed into that death bracket? Okay? Years later, I'm at Evo, and it was Evo West, okay? And I was practicing, excuse me, not Evo West, I misspoke, Evo World. So this is the big one in Vegas. And everyone knows that I have been practicing Super Turbo with the Graham brothers, okay? These guys were brothers who were super good at Super Turbo. They were good with various different characters. And by playing against them, basically I leveled up a lot, and then they played against me, and they leveled up a lot against my characters, okay? So we kind of knew exactly how to play against each other because we'd been practicing a ton for the tournament. Time to start the tournament. Guess who's my first round opponent? One of the Graham brothers. Wait, what? What were the chances that the people who I have been practicing intensely with to get better at Super Turbo are my first round opponents in Super Turbo? And of course, they know how to play against me because we've been practicing. Right? That's what I mean. And then in another Evo, okay, my rival was always Tokido. And everyone knew that Tokido was one of the best Street Fighter players in the world. And everyone knew that this was the year that it was Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition. And the best character in that game is believed to be Champion Edition Bison. I had the best Champion Edition Bison in the United States. Okay? I did. I was winning every tournament I ever entered with this character. I beat Justin Wong with him. I beat everyone with him. Okay? Guess who my big opponent is in the tournament? Tokido. Guess who Tokido's using? Champion Edition Bison. And he's slightly better than me, right? I literally could have coasted to the finals in that tournament if I didn't face Tokido so early in the tournament. It was ridiculous. And this happened almost every Evo, where just by complete chance, it happens to be the absolute worst case situation for me, where I'm fighting the one matchup that I'm going to lose. Every Evo. Now, you could say, well, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, you're right. Do I have distinct evidence that the people who ran Evo, you know, the Cannon Brothers, Mr. Wizard, etc., do I have distinct evidence that they rigged the brackets to screw me? No, I don't. I don't have any evidence of that at all. I'm not privy to a conversation. I don't see it in writing anywhere. I don't. But here's what I know. I was an asshole in the Street Fighter community. Besides my close personal friends from the East Coast who I played with, traveled with, etc., no one really liked me because I was an online dickhead, constantly talking shit, constantly causing problems for people in online forums. Not offline. Offline, I was a nice guy. But online, I was the world's biggest asshole. I caused problems for the guys at SRK, and you know what I mean? I did. So, if you were to fuck with someone, who would you fuck with? Me. And it just so happens that it seemed to happen all the time whenever I was at Evo. All right? But at the very same time, okay? The very same time, I usually performed pretty well regardless of the situation or the circumstance. Usually I would overcome, and like that black bracket of death, I beat everyone in it and made it to the top of that tournament and got 4th place with 3 Japanese players above me. I was the highest ranking American that year at Evo. Okay, so usually I would persevere, but it was always like I had to have the absolute most challenging path to that. It was never easy. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, it's like climbing the mountain. I don't have the gear to do it, but I still got to do it somehow. So I'm doing it with my bare hands and they're bleeding. But I would, you know, but everyone else had the cushy way to do it. Never, ever did I go to a tournament and get a bye because I'm a known player. Never did I get a float or, hey, I don't want to play this guy because I know him. Float me to the other side of the bracket. Never would happen for me. I would never get preferential treatment. You know what I'm saying? And there were a lot of players who always used to get that preferential treatment. 100%. They would show up late to a tournament, but somehow not be disqualified. They would be floated away from everyone in the bracket who plays near them. Somehow they're only playing people from other parts of the country. Why? No one else got that treatment, but I never got it. So could you say, is there a conspiracy theory there? I guess so. I guess you could consider that a conspiracy theory. Because again, I don't have evidence of it. I don't have anyone who has... Here's a written conversation between the staff conspiring to screw over DSP because they don't like him because he's an online asshole. I don't have that. But basically, the situation happened. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If we bring back Slay the Spire, likely it will be a night stream. It's not going to be anytime soon. Like I said, I'm probably going to wait for new characters to release, and then I would play it again. But I'm not going to be playing it anytime soon. Okay? Will I ever have guests on my show again? Yes, it's likely eventually I'll have guests again. Yes. I have been to Universal Studios, both of them in the United States. I've never formally been to Disneyland. I was there for like an hour one day with a free ticket and just walked around and left. Didn't get to do anything. Are the heavy price tags justified? I don't know what the price tags are today. I don't know. When I went to Universal, I don't know what the cost was when I was a kid. When I went 13 years ago? I don't even remember anymore. Maybe it was 14 years ago. I paid for the Express Pass, which meant you don't have to wait in the standard line. You basically wait in a very shortened line, but you pay way more money for it. That was worth it because I was able to get on multiple things that I liked more. Like I went on the Simpsons ride multiple times. I went on the Spider-Man ride multiple times. And if I hadn't had the Express Pass, likely I wouldn't have been able to do it because the lines were long, you know? But I don't remember what the cost was. Jay Kuma, I heard that there's an Xbox third-party showcase tomorrow. I did hear that. So likely what'll happen is maybe we'll do a podcast on Friday morning, and anything that happens interesting in that third-party showcase, we will discuss or react to on the Friday morning podcast. How does that sound? Am I on good terms with Wings, and I think he can get healthier? I don't think that I'm on bad terms with Wings, but I don't think I'm on good terms with him either. Like, I don't think that we're, like, buddies or friends. We don't chat or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd have no ill will towards him whatsoever, but I don't know, you know. Do I think he can get healthier? Can he get healthier? Yes. Will he get healthier is a different question. But he has the possibility to get healthier, yes. When do I usually start gameplay? I already would have, but sadly this got screwed up because the stream went down for like 15 minutes. So yeah, it sucks that happened. I do want to start and play. I wanted to play Dragon Quest for like an hour before I go on my break. How many EVO championships did I win? I won EVO East twice. And I placed... Actually, do you know the truth? I don't remember if I won any other EVO qualifiers because I kind of didn't care. In 2007, I traveled to all the EVO qualifiers. And I actually placed so well in each one that I had like, I want to say 4 seeds at EVO World. Does that make sense? You know how it works. So you go to a qualifier, and if you did well, you immediately get a seed at the tournament, the World Finals. That's a better placement, so you don't have to play through armies of scrubs to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not starting at the bottom. You kind of start in the middle. So that year, every single EVO qualifier that I entered, I placed, and therefore got a seed. So they actually had to give my seeds away to other people because I entered so many tournaments and took so many seeds up. But I don't remember, outside of EVO East, I don't remember if I actually won those tournaments or if I made like top 3, top 5. I can't remember. I think I made top 3 in a couple of them. But I always won. EVO East, I won. Overall, both times they did it, I won it myself. So. Yes, they were championships. EVO East championships. It was EVO East was considered a championship tournament. And by winning that tournament, you get a seed into the World Finals. It was a championship tournament for the East Coast. You don't know what you're talking about. Idiots. Did people mash, jab, and do pattern play back in the day? Yes, and they lost because that didn't win in fighting games back then. It was a bad strategy. In Street Fighter 6, it's actually a good strategy. I'm playing Crimson Desert on Friday's daytime stream. You must have missed earlier on in the show. I made that announcement. I will be doing it as the daytime stream on Friday, and we'll see how it goes. How many EVO Worlds did I win? None. How many times did I fight Domdai during that year? Domdai wasn't a tournament player at that time, I don't think. Domdai started becoming very prominent around the time of Street Fighter 4. That's when he started playing heavily and getting really good at Super Turbo and placing in tournaments and stuff. So that was after. You're talking, you know, mid-2000s, like 2005, 6, 7. That was the era that I was really good. No, I never did the Guile reset in World Warrior. I'm aware of it, and I know how it works, but I never used it. Okay. All right, I think it's time to end. It looks like the stream is steady, right? No problems. So my apologies that the stream just ended like that. It does seem like it was a YouTube side issue. Just for the sake of completeness, let me check one last time before we end the show. But it looks like it had nothing to do with me. Nothing negative has happened. I'm broadcasting fine, no problems. I legit have no clue what happened with that stream at all. That's just weird. But someone said that apparently that also happened to someone else earlier today. So maybe YouTube is having technical issues today. That streams are going down right in the middle, which sucks, obviously. You don't want that to happen, but what can you do? All right, folks. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the DSP Morning Show. Sorry it went late. It shouldn't have gone 90 minutes today, but we had technical issues that extended the length of the show. I hope that you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow to recap everything that went down today. And should be another chill day tomorrow coming up. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you then.